Buzz. In an instant, the two sacred flames in Xiao Yan's palm wrapped themselves tightly around the 10,000-year profound ice. Sizzle! Yet, even with the extraordinarily high temperatures of the sacred flames, faint wisps of cold air unexpectedly emerged as they began to envelop the ice. "This thing is incredibly tough," Xiao Yan muttered, frowning as he observed the scene. "This will take quite some time." "Let's proceed gradually," said the Devourer of Souls helplessly, seeing no better solution for the moment. Clatter! Hearing this, Xiao Yan remained calm, carefully controlling the two sacred flames to steadily refine the profound ice. Time passed, stretching into several days. During this period, Xiao Yan worked tirelessly to refine the 10,000-year profound ice. Yet, its exceptional hardness resisted his efforts. Finally, at the last moment, a faint crack appeared on its surface. Bang! 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 With Xiao Yan increasing his efforts, the profound ice suddenly shattered completely, exploding into a flurry of powder. The remnants were quickly condensed into liquid form by Xiao Yan's flames. At this point, 3 pools of liquid had taken shape. Coupled with other neutralizing medicinal ingredients, the first step was finally completed. "This 5th-tier immortal-grade pill truly lives up to its reputation," Xiao Yan remarked, wiping away some sweat. Even just refining it was a challenge. The upcoming fusion and the pill Thunder Tribulation would undoubtedly be even more difficult. The process of refining the 3 key ingredients alone had consumed significant time and a substantial amount of Do Qi. Fortunately, with the support of the Flame Mantra, his Do Qi recovery was remarkably fast. "Now comes the most challenging part," Xiao Yan murmured, taking out the nascent pill. Though its intelligence had been entirely erased, directly infusing it with these medicinal liquids could still cause complications. "No time for hesitation. Let's do this." After a moment of focus, Xiao Yan's gaze sharpened as he stared intently at the 4 pools of liquid before him. Heart-calming grass merge. With a sharp command, a surge of radiant soul power swept out, guiding the first pool of liquid to fuse into the nascent pill. Swish! The medicinal power of the heart-calming grass was gentle, allowing the process to proceed smoothly. "Next is the magic core," Xiao Yan said with a satisfied smile, observing the faint energy glow forming within the nascent pill. Swoosh! Soon, the dazzling liquid energy from his palm surged toward the nascent pill. However, this time, the nascent pill, now infused with the heart-calming grass, erupted with intense resistance. The contrasting energies, one too volatile, the other too mild, struggled fiercely against one another. "You think I can't tame you?" Xiao Yan gritted his teeth, unwilling to yield. His brilliant soul power surged like a tidal wave, fully enveloping the magic core's energy as he launched relentless assaults on the nascent pill. Swish! Despite the conflicting energies, under Xiao Yan's precise control, they began to merge slowly. A unique energy, serene yet exhilarating, started to emanate from the nascent pill as the two energies intertwined. Next, the 10,000-year profound ice and the neutralizing ingredients, Xiao Yan said after a brief pause. Merge. Without hesitation, he directed the liquid form of the profound ice into the nascent pill. Buzz. This time, there was no resistance. The liquid profound ice smoothly entered the pill, but its extreme cold spread rapidly throughout the room. Even Xiao Yan, protected by sacred flames, felt an intense discomfort. Merge! Xiao Yan roared. The four liquids, each occupying a corner within the pill, began to interact. Under his expert manipulation, they soon fused into a cohesive whole. A thick, medicinal fragrance filled the air as a white, jade-colored ice mystic pill, radiating powerful energy fluctuations, slowly took form before him. Success! Xiao Yan exclaimed in excitement. Even with the aid of the nascent pill, refining such a high-grade pill was no easy feat yet. The effort had paid off. Boom! Just as Xiao Yan's elation surged, a deafening explosion reverberated through the room, shattering the protective soul barrier he had set up. Not good. I forgot about the pill Thunder Tribulation. His joy lasted less than a breath before dread overtook him. Even though the pill was crafted using a nascent base, it was still a genuine 5th-tier immortal-grade pill. The immense, thunderous energy it contained was beyond his current ability to withstand. A sense of dread swept through his heart. Boom! At the same time, the skies above the heavenly Nether Villa darkened. Is someone refining a 5th-tier immortal-grade pill? Within the heavenly Nether Villa, the king of Nether Heaven and Xun'er sat calmly. Upon witnessing the unusual phenomenon, Xun'er exclaimed in surprise. Indeed, their villa housed a 5th-tier immortal alchemist, but such individuals were exceedingly rare, like phoenix feathers and unicorn horns, often in secluded cultivation. The power of this pill Thunder Tribulation falls far short of the 5th-tier immortal level. It seems someone is using a nascent pill for refinement. Judging by the direction of the tribulation, it appears to originate from a certain courtyard. If I recall correctly, that's where Xiao resides. Quite intriguing. The king of Nether Heaven, knowledgeable and perceptive, chuckled softly. A sudden roar of thunder filled the sky. At that moment, the sacred flame within Xiao dissipated, replaced by a blazing, fiery force. Damn it, Xiao muttered as he stared at the terrifying lightning in the sky, its oppressive aura sending a chill through him. Let me handle this. In an instant, a silver figure burst forth, breaking through the door and charging directly toward the rolling thunderclouds in the sky. It was none other than Xiao Yan's soul clone. However, a strange, ashen-gray lightning quietly surfaced across his body. As this gray lightning collided with the tribulation lightning above, the latter scattered like startled birds. Nowhere to run. Xiao's lips curved into a faint smile. The lightning surged along a peculiar path, flowing directly into Xiao's body. His aura swelled dramatically. Seeing Xiao in action, Xiao quickly recalled him to prevent the clone's identity from being exposed. Most of the pill Thunder Tribulation's power had already been absorbed by Xiao, allowing Xiao to shatter the remnants with ease. Return, Xiao commanded with a smile. With a wave of his hand, Xiao retreated into his soul sea. At this point, the ice mystic pill, used to devour the undying fire, was finally complete. This Xiao fellow truly possesses some remarkable secrets, the king of Nether Heaven mused from the shadows. He had clearly discerned Xiao maneuver, but chose not to expose it. After all, crafting a soul clone was an exceedingly rare art. Moreover, the moment Xiao clone appeared, it absorbed the terrifying lightning of the pill Thunder Tribulation, an ability even the king of Nether Heaven found extraordinary. Should we investigate this Xiao more thoroughly? Xun'er asked as he watched the brief appearance of Xiao and his soul clone. No need. A prodigy of this caliber is bound to be exceptional. Besides, I feel that if this person joins the Ferocious Soul domain, he will undoubtedly enhance our Nether Soul Heaven's prestige. The king of Nether Heaven replied with a smile. By the way, my lord, Duan Tianhong of the Eastern Continent's Forged Blade Thunder Valley has entrusted us with the Thunder Emperor's scepter, which supposedly seals the Sin Envoy and other peculiar entities that once attacked the Eastern Continent. These individuals seem to be plotting something, Xun'er remarked. Bring it along. This time, you will accompany me and the team into the Ferocious Soul domain, the king of Nether Heaven instructed. And Duan Tianhong's daughter, Duan Qifei, will also join us. Including her, there are 11 in total. Make the preparations. In a few days, we set off, he added, closing his eyes slightly. Duan Qifei? Although her strength is decent and she's Duan Tianhong's daughter, she seems unqualified for the Ferocious Soul domain. After all, that place is... Xun'er hesitated. No need to ask. She's a specific request of the Ferocious Soul domain. You'll understand when we get there, the king of Nether Heaven said mysteriously. Understood. Xun'er departed to notify the group. Meanwhile, Xiao, having just completed the pill refinement, wasted no time. After bidding farewell to the king of Nether Heaven, he headed toward Xiao's residence. Fortunately, the king of Nether Heaven did not create any obstacles, and the journey was smooth. Big brother. Upon arriving at the stronghold of the Eastern Continent experts and pushing open the door, Xiao and Duan Qifei were already waiting in the living room, seemingly aware of his movements. Heh, Xiao grinned. Big brother, what happened to the poison fiend demon queen in the end? Xiao asked eagerly, his curiosity burning. The Poison Fiend Demon Queen escaped, but all the other experts of the earthly Poison Fiend and the Poison Fiend clan met their end in the demon-suppressing prison. Xiao Yan said slowly, his voice tinged with regret. Are you all right? Duan Qifei asked, choosing not to inquire about the details of what transpired, focusing instead on Xiao Yan's well-being. I'm fine. Next, we just need to wait. When the time comes, Lord King of Netherheaven will lead us to the Ferocious Soul Domain. Xiao Yan replied with a smile. The Ferocious Soul Domain. Duan Qifei's expression turned to one of astonishment at the mention of the name. She was evidently aware of this place that ruled over countless dimensional continents beneath the Ferocious Soul Domain within the Ghost Realm. Once they arrived there, coupled with her identity as a reincarnator, she feared her life would never again know peace. Relax. Don't burden yourself with too much pressure, Xiao Yan said, seeming to see through Duan Qifei's inner turmoil. Clearly, being a reincarnator came with numerous benefits, but it also carried significant drawbacks. All right, Duan Qifei nodded slightly. The night passed uneventfully, with everyone resting well. Besides the 3 here, the other 9 also harbored a growing excitement. Senior sister, this trip to the demon-suppressing prison was truly perilous, Lu Yun remarked with a wry smile, gazing at his senior sister, Xing Yun, in the Heavenly Melody sect quarters. His voice carried rare relief. This venture, originally intended to hunt evil entities and earn points, had taken a deadly turn when the Poison Fiend Demon Queen broke free from her seal, nearly costing them their lives. Still, they had obtained the qualification to enter the Ferocious Soul Domain, and that was enough. Entering the Ferocious Soul Domain has always been our master's dream. This time, we've helped her fulfill it. Next time we return to In Soul Heaven, we'll give her a big surprise, Xing Yun said, her demeanor softening into a rare display of girlishness as her eyes glimmered gently. Despite the sect's strength, they had never entered the Ferocious Soul Domain before. This was a momentous occasion for their sect, and now, with both of them qualified, their excitement was evident. As she finished speaking, the 2 exchanged gratified smiles, and melodious harmonies began to fill the air. Senior brother, the Ferocious Soul Domain. What kind of place is it? Lin Lin asked Lin Yuan in a quiet corner of the 10,000 Souls Palace. Clearly, both had also earned the right to enter, and their anticipation burned brightly. The Ferocious Soul Domain. It is the core that governs countless dimensions beneath its rule. It is the dwelling place of the peak experts in the domain, where powerhouses gather and danger lurks at every turn. But on the flip side, the resources and even the opponents there are equally formidable and abundant, Lin Yuan said, his tone carrying both the weight of pressure and a thrill of excitement. Joining the Ferocious Soul Domain would mean the chance to rise to its ranks of elite powerhouses. At that point, their names would resound across all 7 realms. Moreover, the cultivation resources in the Ferocious Soul Domain were vast beyond measure, and the presence of powerful adversaries made the path to greatness clearer. The road to becoming a strong expert seemed to unfold before them. The Ferocious Soul Domain, Lin Lin murmured, the words carrying a mix of anticipation and awe. Who knows what other secrets will be uncovered this time? Lu Yong of the 1,000 Puppets Ghost sect muttered from his hidden corner. His sect had prior experience in the Ferocious Soul Domain, making him somewhat familiar with the place. The Ferocious Soul Domain, Shen Jun of the Soul Beast Alliance said with a smile, evidently pleased that gaining entry would bring significant benefits to his faction. The Ferocious Soul Domain. This time, I must find the entrance to the Dark Dimension. Once I master the power of darkness, Ghost Shadow Valley will break free from the Ferocious Soul Domain and rise as the 8th realm, ruling as the Lord of the Netherworld. Ha ha ha. Heiju of Ghost Shadow Valley laughed darkly. Little did he know, however, that the so-called Netherworld was merely another stronghold within the 7 realms, a pawn in the schemes of the strongest forces. It was only when he eventually discovered the Dark Dimension's entrance that he would realize it was all part of a grand conspiracy. Meanwhile, in various other corners, others quietly awaited the appointed time when the King of Netherheaven would lead them to the Ferocious Soul Domain. The next day, As sunlight spilled over the heavenly nether villa, the atmosphere reached a fever pitch. The reason was simple. Today was the day Lord King of Nether Heaven would lead his 11 disciples to the ferocious soul domain. The King of Nether Heaven was no ordinary figure. As the villa master of the heavenly nether villa, personally appointed by the Lord of Soul Heaven, he was tasked with maintaining order in the entire Soul Heaven. To call him the strongest in Soul Heaven would not be an exaggeration. There, not only do the most powerful beings reside, but the 5 great halls that govern countless dimensions under the ferocious soul domain also exist. All laws and the allocation of resources within the ferocious soul domain are jointly managed by these halls in collaboration with the Devourer of Souls. Within the ferocious soul domain, the reputation of the Devourer of Souls has reached its pinnacle. Everyone, at this moment, in the vast square within the heavenly nether villa, led by the King of Nether Heaven and Xun'er, 11 individuals stood solemnly. The King of Nether Heaven was the first to speak. "Your Majesty, King of Nether Heaven." Seeing the rather elegant man before them, Xiao and the others spoke slowly, their voices tinged with excitement and reverence. "My lord, all 11 individuals have arrived, and the villa's order has been arranged meticulously as per your instructions. We are ready to depart," Xun'er said calmly. "These 11 young ones, this journey to the ferocious soul domain will be one of the most crucial milestones in your lives. Do your best. I hope that decades from now, you can become prominent figures in the 5 great halls or even within the ferocious soul domain itself," the King of Nether Heaven said, his gaze flickering as he addressed the 11 individuals before him. To join the ferocious soul domain means having extraordinary talent and resources. However, whether one becomes a supreme force depends entirely on individual effort. If everything is ready, let's move out. After a final glance at the group, the King of Nether Heaven noted the fervent looks in their eyes. Wasting no time, his massive palm waved lightly in front of him, and a brilliant spatial gate materialized quietly. Only 5-star Dou-Xian experts can construct spatial channels or formations, but to directly summon a spatial gate as a 6-star Dou-Xian. What an astounding display of power, Xun'er of the Soul Beast Alliance muttered with a hint of envy. Whoosh! With the King of Nether Heaven's gesture, waves of formidable spatial energy surged across the square, forming the spatial gate. Everyone go! With a commanding shout, the King of Nether Heaven and Xun'er flanked the group of 11, escorting them into the gate, heading toward the ferocious soul domain. "What a stable spatial channel!" Xiao exclaimed in awe upon entering. Ordinary channels, though functional, are often unsafe and prone to spatial storms. Yet, this channel was remarkably solid, devoid of any sense of danger. This channel directly connects to the ferocious soul domain and was constructed by its experts. Within the ghost realm, even those harboring ill intent would not dare provoke the ferocious soul domain's power, Xun'er explained with a smile. "I see," Xiao replied with a faint smile. "Are you all right?" Xiao turned to observe Duan Qifei, noticing her distant expression. "I'm fine," Duan Qifei shook her head, but her gaze grew misty, shrouded in an inexplicable emotion. "This spatial channel is extremely secure, so there's no need to worry. In a few days, we'll arrive at the ferocious soul domain. That place is a new world, a world of the strong and the most prosperous region in the entire ferocious soul domain," the King of Nether Heaven said with excitement in his eyes. Even he, in the face of such a colossal power, felt an inexplicable tremor. Despite his strength as a 6-star Dou-Xian, within the ferocious soul domain, he was merely a strong practitioner, far from being among the most supreme. "My lord, what exactly is the ferocious soul domain?" After a brief pause, Xiao voiced his question. "Good question. The so-called ferocious soul domain is an exceptionally unique space, vastly superior to ordinary dimensional continents," the King of Nether Heaven said to Xiao with a smile. For some reason, he felt a faint sense of familiarity with this young man, though the sensation was subtle and elusive. This might be because of the King of Nether Heaven's age, which exceeded 1,000 years. Due to his cultivation, he appeared young, but in his era, Figures like the Devourer of Souls and Thunder Lord were revered titans. Though the king of Nether Heaven lived at the tail end of their age, he held immense respect for such powers. Hence, his sense of familiarity with Xiao wasn't entirely unreasonable. The vast ghost realm is boundless. Beyond its central hub, where the supreme powers gather, the realm is divided into 3 regions and 5 territories. Each region governs thousands of dimensional continents, while the 5 territories oversee only hundreds of them. The Ferocious Soul Domain is the largest and most formidable of the 3 regions. However, one common misconception must be addressed. The Ferocious Soul Domain has transcended the concept of dimensions. It is a realm, a collection of thousands of continents. The countless resources, laws, and punitive measures all originate from the Ferocious Soul Domain, spreading outward from there, declared the king of Nether Heaven, his voice loud and commanding. Is the Ferocious Soul Domain truly this formidable? Xiao asked in mild astonishment. Indeed, came the reply. Although called a domain, it possesses advantages unmatched even by thousands of other continents combined. Its abundant energy, myriad opportunities, and relics make it a treasure trove. Additionally, the quantity and quality of experts here are unparalleled. With the meticulous governance of the Lord of the Ferocious Soul Domain, this place has become a true haven for the strong. This reputation as the leading domain in the ghost realm is well-deserved, remarked the Devourer of Souls. Even this proud master of Xiao couldn't hide his admiration for the domain. Looks like this journey to the Ferocious Soul Domain will be quite eventful, Xiao thought, his excitement growing. His interest in the domain was not merely about its famed strength, but because of one specific goal, obtaining the Heartbreak Flame. Only by locating the Heartbreak Flame in the Ferocious Soul Domain could he hope to revive Mu Yingying. Memories of the cheerful woman who once selflessly sacrificed herself on the Xinling continent to thwart the Xinling king's evil plans still haunted Xiao, filling him with guilt. Clutching his chest where his heart throbbed, he whispered, "Will the Heartbreak Flame truly be in the Ferocious Soul Domain?" As Xiao and his companions entered the Ferocious Soul Domain through a spatial passage, strange and eerie occurrences began to unfold. The Ferocious Soul Domain was unlike any ordinary high-level plane. It boasted incredible stability and abundant energy, complemented by the presence of countless formidable experts. These factors cemented its position as the core region for thousands of planes under its influence. Due to its vast expanse, numerous factions had emerged within the domain. These groups wielded considerable power, but dared not challenge the higher authorities of the Ferocious Soul Domain. Even amid their rivalries, they maintained a profound reverence for the domain's hierarchy. This deference stemmed from the supreme status of the 5 Great Halls, which held unparalleled sway within the domain. At the heart of the Ferocious Soul Domain stood the 5 Great Halls, while the Lord of the Ferocious Soul Domain resided in the enigmatic Divine Hall. Information about the Divine Hall was sparse, with even powerful figures from the 5 Great Halls knowing little. What was certain, however, was that only the most extraordinary individuals could gain entry, as the hall was protected by countless divine restrictions. While the Divine Hall remained elusive, the 5 Great Halls actively shaped the domain's core. These halls balanced and strengthened one another, making them the most formidable organizations in the domain. Aside from the Divine Hall, ordinary spirits and humans were familiar with the 4 halls: Judgment Hall, Tribunal Hall, Earth Spirit Hall, and Soul Hall. However, the strongest in the domain knew of the existence of a 5th hall, the Elder Council. Judgment Hall specialized in apprehending and eradicating threats to the Ferocious Soul Domain, commanding immense martial power. Those targeted by Judgment Hall faced inevitable demise. The Earth Spirit Hall served as a training ground for talents destined for the Divine Hall. Among its many treasures, the famed 7-fold soul-guiding lamp, said to prolong life, originated here. Tribunal Hall focused on passing judgment on powerful individuals or heretics. Those listed under its judgment order were swiftly handed over to Judgment Hall for relentless pursuit and eradication. Soul Hall was a unique and mysterious entity, created by the Lord of the Ferocious Soul Domain to delve into soul arts. Its members studied secret techniques, soul-based combat skills, and the mysteries of existence itself. While Soul Hall refrained from intervening in worldly matters, it existed solely to serve the Lord of the Ferocious Soul Domain, and its true purpose remained a well-guarded secret. The Elder Council is intricately involved in appointing or dismissing certain Lords of Dimensions among the thousands of dimensional planes beneath the Ferocious Soul Domain. It also has close ties to the replacement of experts within the other 4 halls of the Ferocious Soul Domain, and even within the Divine Hall of the Lord of Ferocious Souls. In fact, some of the Lord's decisions must be reviewed and approved by the Elder Council. However, the Council typically intervenes only in major matters, leaving minor issues to the discretion of the Lord of Ferocious Souls. As for the Divine Hall of the Lord of Ferocious Souls, it is ruled solely by the Lord, who wields supreme authority and immense prestige. Countless rules and punitive systems stem directly from his hand. Under normal circumstances, the Ferocious Soul Domain is jointly managed by the Tribunal Hall and the Judgment Hall, while the Soul Hall focuses solely on researching soul arts. Similarly, the Earth Spirit Hall tirelessly supplies talent to the Divine Hall and the entire domain. Membership in the Elder Council is reserved for ancient and formidable figures who remain reclusive, appearing only during urgent or extraordinary circumstances. At the core of the Ferocious Soul Domain lies a highly mysterious void. Here, numerous seals converge, decorating the expansive complex of magnificent structures that form the location of the Divine Hall of the Lord of Ferocious Souls. Within the grand central hall of the Divine Hall, a faint and ethereal figure stood motionless on a black throne. This apparition, resembling a middle-aged man, was shrouded entirely in black radiance, making his exact features indiscernible. The immense hall was filled with ghostly energy, which suffused even the towering stone pillars that reached into the heavens. Despite the hall's vast space, only one figure occupied it. This figure exuded ghostly energy, though it appeared devoid of any tangible power fluctuations, resembling nothing more than ordinary black mist. Yet this eerie stillness cast an oppressive aura, dimming the surrounding world. "Thousands of years have passed again," the man muttered, gazing into the endless void. "This may very well be my last chance. If I fail to break through my current limits this time, my end will surely come." How foolish I was, tempted by the promises of the domain lords of the Buddhist realm and demon realm. I joined them in sealing the Demon Emperor. They pledged to aid me in defeating the Devourer of Souls and obtaining the soul-devouring talisman. With its sinister power, I could have broken my shackles. Yet though I defeated the Devourer of Souls, his remnant soul escaped, and the soul-devouring talisman vanished without a trace. To make matters worse, I've incurred the wrath of the Demon Emperor. If he breaks free of his seal, his power over reincarnation will surely plunge the Ferocious Soul Domain into chaos. After all, the Demon Emperor is a true master of the reincarnation realm, one of the mightiest beings in all 7 realms. One misstep led to another, an endless chain of regrets. He sighed, staring into the abyss. Suddenly, 2 clusters of flame burst into existence before him, their appearance sending waves of fear rippling through the ghostly energy in the hall. If Xiao were present, he would recognize these flames as sacred flames, their strength comparable to or even exceeding his own. "The undying fire and heartbreak flame," the man murmured. "A millennium ago, after the soul-devouring talisman was lost, I entrusted these sacred flames to the Soul Hall, commanding them to uncover a way for the beings of the ghost realm to absorb their power. Recently, they discovered a breakthrough. With this method, I can finally complete my transformation using the power of the sacred flames. This time, I must succeed in advancing to the perfected 8-star Do Xian stage and entering the reincarnation realm I've longed for. Once I achieve this, even if the Demon Emperor awakens or the Devourer of Souls returns, I shall have nothing to fear." Ha ha ha. His laughter echoed sinisterly as he stared at the 2 flames. But the power of these 2 sacred flames is far too immense. Even with the method, attempting to absorb them both would spell certain failure. I must sacrifice one to lure other experts away, while using the other for my breakthrough. Once I step into reincarnation, I'll venture into the ghost realm's hidden sanctuaries in search of the ultimate path. By then, not just the ghost realm, but all 7 realms of the great 1,000 worlds shall bow before me." As his laughter ceased, an aura of unparalleled terror erupted from his body, causing the heavens and earth to tremble. The skies darkened, and the winds howled as though heralding a calamity. Clatter! Over the past few days, Xiao and his companions had been quietly traversing the spatial tunnel. One day, a sudden surge of intense white light erupted within the tunnel, prompting the voice of the King of Netherheaven to echo faintly. "Little ones, we've arrived." The King of Netherheaven gazed at the approaching exit and spoke softly. "Finally, we've reached the Ferocious Soul Domain?" Xiao's gaze turned fervent as he felt the oppressive, terrifying energy emanating faintly through the brilliant white light. This journey to the Ferocious Soul Domain carried many goals. Whether Xiao could devour the undying fire to greatly enhance his power was uncertain. However, his primary mission was to help his master, the Devourer of Souls, retrieve the 7-fold soul-guiding lamp and restore his peak strength. This would enable the Devourer of Souls to lead the strong forces of the soul-devouring domain into battle against the Ferocious Soul Domain, avenging their prior defeat. Additionally, there was the matter of Xiao Gui's mysterious lineage to uncover. Most importantly, they sought the Heartbreak Flame, a matter critical to reviving Mu Yingying. "The Ferocious Soul Domain," Xiao Gui murmured as he gazed at the glowing exit. His expression appeared dazed, as though fragments of memory and power had been deliberately suppressed by an unknown expert. This suppression left him with a faint but deeply hidden sense of familiarity toward the Ferocious Soul Domain. "The Ferocious Soul Domain," muttered Duan Qifei, who smiled faintly as they approached the exit of the spatial tunnel. Her smile carried a touch of helplessness. She understood that once she entered the Ferocious Soul Domain, her identity as a reincarnator would inevitably come to light. When that time came, she would rise to become a ruler of this domain, sacrificing the freedom to pursue her happiness. Among all she had encountered, Xiao stood out as someone exceptional in both character and strength. "Don't worry." Xiao, oblivious to Duan Qifei's thoughts, assumed she was nervous about the unfamiliar environment. He offered a comforting word. "Let's move. The 4 Great Hall's guides have been waiting for some time," said Zhuamu with a smile. "Indeed." Exchanging glances, the group stepped out of the spatial tunnel together. Whoosh! As they emerged, dazzling sunlight burst forth. A blazing sun hung high in the sky, its intense light and heat momentarily blurring their vision. After a brief moment, their sight cleared, and they took in their surroundings. They found themselves at the base of a towering mountain nestled in a vast chain of peaks. These mountains rose and fell in countless undulations, but the one before them was undoubtedly the most imposing of them all. "What incredibly dense natural energy! And this sun is quite dazzling," Xiao remarked as he opened his eyes and looked around. "What a majestic mountain range," Xiao added, his gaze lingering on the massive peaks before him. 11 young ones. This marks the beginning of your trial to join the 4 Great Halls. You're on your own now." With those words, the figures of the King of Netherheaven and Zhuamu vanished, leaving only the 11 of them behind. As their 2 guides disappeared, a sparsely populated village gradually emerged at the base of the mountain range. At the same time, an endless cascade of white jade steps materialized before them, stretching upward into the heavens. "Are these heaven-piercing stone steps?" Shenjun's expression turned grim as he examined the steps. The peculiar energy emanating from them was unsettling. Behind them, a few simple houses came into view, and faint figures could be seen moving toward the stone steps. Before them, the gleaming white jade stairs rose endlessly, seemingly numbering in the thousands, reaching toward the heavens. "This?" Xiao Gui exchanged uncertain glances with the others, sensing an eerie force exuding from the steps. Even someone as strong as Xiao Gui felt a tinge of fear. "Hee, young ones, you seem unfamiliar here. Are you from another region?" An elderly man with a kind expression slowly approached Xiao and addressed him. "Senior, we just arrived here. Could you tell us about these steps?" Xiao replied politely with a slight smile. You must be from the lower realms. This place sees countless powerful individuals arrive daily. As for these steps, we call them the heaven-piercing steps. Legend has it that atop these steps stands the statue of the great ferocious soul lord. If one can overcome the steps and reach the statue, there is a minuscule chance of being chosen by the experts of the four great halls, granting entry to their ranks. The heaven-piercing steps adapt uniquely to each individual. They might span hundreds of steps or seem endless. Successfully climbing them is the mark of a true powerhouse. Statues and rituals like these are not uncommon within the vast territories of the ferocious soul domain. However, stepping onto these heaven-piercing stone steps is no simple matter. The elderly man explained courteously to Xiao as he observed him. So, there's a process to it after all? Several accompanying disciples nodded slowly upon hearing this, their gazes growing solemn as they looked at the towering stone steps ahead. Thank you, Elder. In that case, let's move on. Xiao cupped his hands respectfully and smiled at the elder. Without waiting for the others, he led Xiao Gue and Duan Qifei toward the stone steps. Thud. With a muffled sound, the three of them lifted their feet cautiously and stepped onto the steps. The steps gleamed with a jade-like brilliance, as if they were carved from heaven itself. A faint, mysterious power seemed to emanate from within them. Under the suppression of this power, the strength within Xiao and his companions was temporarily sealed. Hiss! Taking another step upward, Xiao expression turned grim as he felt an invisible force descend upon his body. Let's go. I want to see just how challenging this heaven-piercing stone can be. Duan Qifei, feeling her reincarnation runes temporarily subdued by the mysterious power of the steps, pressed forward resolutely. With every step they took, the pressure on their bodies intensified. These individuals seemed to possess something rare. The elder who had just explained the rules squinted his eyes and spoke softly. Having lived here for decades, he had witnessed countless prodigies attempt these steps. Yet, those who managed to conquer them and stand before the statue of the Lord of Ferocious Souls were exceedingly few. The 9 other disciples who had accompanied them quickly followed suit. At last, they began to understand why the King of Nether Heaven and Zhuamu had left them behind earlier.